Hi, friends. In our time together today, I'm sharing my very first honest book introduction, book review, and I'll tell you in a minute why I've been reluctant to do one up till now. But the book is The Low Whistle Book by Stefan Hannigan and David Ledson. And I want to stay right out of the gate. If Stefan and David are listening, please connect. If you are in any way connected with them both, introduce me. I'm going to find a way to connect. I have not yet done that, but I appreciate their work. I appreciate this book. The book is by admission, focused on a beginner. And I'll walk us through bits of the book and tell you why I like the book. But first, and I'll also tell you where to get the book at the end, because I don't want you just running out and paying too much for it. First, I want to say why I've been reluctant to do book reviews. I've got a lot of books telling you how to play the whistle, and a lot of whistle tune books, and those are great. But there are free online resources as well for, whistle tunes. A number of us do like printed music, and that's awesome. But I don't want to force anybody to have to join the I Read Music Club. But my real reluctance for introducing any of these books in depth is that they really are predicated on the high whistle. And, excuse me, a little tickle still. Sure, I love the high whistle, but our community has more of a focus on the low whistle. And so I want a book that focuses on learning the low whistle. The low whistle is different than the high whistle. If you're teaching somebody to play the high whistle, you're not worried about talking about the piper's grip. You're not worried about talking a lot about breath control and breath pressure. You're not worried as much about some other items. And so if you're going to teach the low whistle, you have to speak to these things. And thank you, gentlemen, the authors of this book, for doing that. And so that's why I'm a huge fan of this book. I'll tell you, there are a couple of drawbacks to the book. And the first is that it's just purely a beginner focus, though it does include quite a good selection of tunes as well. But let me jump in and tell you about the book some. So they get in, and the book actually has, and they tell you where to get these. The book has a link to a website hosted by Hobgoblin for the sound clips. And all through, at every section, there were sound clips, not just of someone playing the whistle, but someone talking you through what they've said in print. So like that getting started page where it says, okay, here's, this book is for beginners. And this is sound clip number 1. You could go and listen to sound clip number 1. And then it talks about a low whistle. And then it gets into talking about how, this is 6 fingers covering 6 holes. And there's a sound clip for that. And so I appreciate that. That's all through. There's a little icon for when there's a sound clip and which sound clip. And the web page, I'll show a picture of it. I'll stick it there. It's just a long list of sound clips, and you can hit the play button. Be aware that if you press play on one sound clip and then press play in another, they're both going to play. So you need to press pause on the one before playing the other. But it goes through, and it says, here's how you hold a low whistle. Now, it's pretty much limiting the how to hold a whistle to the piper's grip. I'm fine with that. That's my favorite way to hold it, but I want to give you options as well. Here's how to play the notes on a low whistle. I love that. They give a front view and a side view on many things. It walks you through all the notes. walking up and down all the primary notes, that is really good. And then we move into one of the things I wish they had done more. They move into when they talk about playing the second octave. They say now you're going to have to increase your air pressure some, and because that's how you're going to play the second octave. And I appreciate that, but this is where I would have had a deeper dive into tone quality and married to breath pressure, and particularly into the second half of the second octave. You know, we talk about that a good bit. And I think they've done a brilliant job of this. I'm not giving them any grief. You know, publishing something, you have very limited budget and you can only do so much. You can't put out a thesis on how to play how to play the low whistle as an introductory book. But I would have driven a little bit of a deeper dive into breath pressure, and they have a great conversation about breath control in the book that I think is really helpful and beneficial. I'd have added just a hair more on breath pressure, but that's why, like, you get a book like this and you join our community or another community just like ours that plays the low whistle. Are there other communities out there focused on the low whistle? I need to dive into that. That's interesting. You jump into a low whistle focused community where we talk more about those nuances that you really can't do a deep dive into in a book like this. So after talking about, you know, the primary notes, they introduced the C natural, which I appreciate. I think they could have added, I don't remember seeing a full fingering chart. Okay. I might be missing it. Now, one thing, as you get in further, then they do go into playing all the sharps and flats. For a beginner book, I wouldn't have added how to play an E flat or an F natural. I'm not sure that's beginnerish, or a B flat. I appreciate they put that in there. And then they start introducing musical notes tied to those notes. And then from there, they start introducing how to begin playing tunes. And this is where they have a good breathing and a little bit more on music. Then they start off, Amazing Grace, Sky Boat Song, Drops of Brandy in D, Drops of Brandy in G, and through some really beginner tunes. And then from there, after beginner tunes, they jump right into here's information on ornamentation. Brilliant ad. See, too many books leave ornamentation till later, and these folks have jumped into it right away. And they're getting in right away with cuts and rolls, taps, and I think that's really good. And showing you how to add some of that into a tune. That's brilliant as well. But the problem is it's dependent upon you being able to read music. And yeah. But again, they're limited by how many pages did you want in this book? And that's why I think in today's world, if they were to redo this, they'd probably just make it a website and a YouTube channel, or at least that's my goal. And my wife said to me this morning, "Is like, where's yours? Why haven't you written this yet?" It's like, well, that's not my goal, but maybe we're going there. I'm not sure. But these folks, what a great job, and some real then focused on more ornamentation, slides, how to do it, pictures of it, what it looks like in print musically. Then you're getting into they've got a little thing on don't make these mistakes. They've got 6 of them. Things we've all talked about, which is good. So I'm in tune with all that. And then they go into different tune types. They've got beginner tunes, improver tunes, and player's tunes. And they have, what they've done is they've included music for all of them, but not tabs for all of them. But they do have a link so that you could listen to them. But they're played through not exactly at pace, a little more slowly, but it's going to be, if you're someone that learns by ear, the book will be a bit of a challenge for you from learning tunes from that standpoint. So I would have wanted that explored a little further. But overall, I think they did just a brilliant job. But again, I don't want you to worry about climbing the mountain of reading music to be able to learn to play the whistle. I don't think that's necessary. I would never ask you to do that. And, that somebody who's read music for 62 years, learned it when I was 7. I don't want you to have to do that if you don't want to do that. I don't want to force you to learn even tabs or ABCs. Learn what you want to learn, because you could learn to play the whistle by ear if that's what you want to do, following that traditional mindset. But the problem is when you make a resource, you automatically limit yourself based on the scope because of budget constraints and time. So, those are all issues. How much more time would it take to include tabs and ABCs, and also slow audio for someone learning by ear? That gets pretty time consuming, which is why I personally feel like something like this is really built over time through like a YouTube channel and a website. But I'm not saying that to diss the book. I'm saying, the world has changed a bit since this was first published. But many of us, myself included, I love printed music. And so this book resonates with me. But I'm saying all that to say it may not resonate with you. But it's a brilliant resource. So I like it. Again, I not only like it, I recommend it. But realize ahead that it's constrained by using printed music. But it is enhanced by many great sound clips. Now, I have not yet connected with the authors. I'm going to do that. And I'm looking forward to doing that. So if you are one of the authors, or if you're connected with Hobgoblin Music, the publishing folks, then connect with me. Or if you know them personally, introduce me, and I'm going to get connected with them. I know, they at least Stephen has his own website. I'm going to reach out through that. But I told you where you'd be able to get the books. Hobgoblin Music and BigWhistle.com are my two favorite. Like if you go on to, and you're going to be able to find it on Amazon or something like that, but it's going to be used and they're going to charge you 2 prices. Don't do that. Go to Big Whistle, Hobgoblin. Some other music stores may have it in stock as well. Great resource, the Low Whistle book, and I love it. Once again, if you know any other low whistle focused teaching books, comment. If you have this book, and I would love for you to share your opinion, comment in the notes to this video. If this is helpful, please like the video, as that helps promote our channel. I'm realizing there aren't enough low whistle resources out there. If you know another low whistle focused channel where the low whistle technique is being regularly and consistently taught, shoot that down below. And I know some of the primary folks are doing some, and I appreciate that. Like our friend Nathaniel, that does some brilliant overviews of low whistles. Thank you for that, Nathaniel. Cutie Pie, I've commented on her stuff, but she'll use the low whistle a good bit, and I wouldn't say the low whistle's her focus. So anyway, comments on that too. If you're brand new with us, please subscribe. We have got a great community learning to play the whistle together. Until next time, my friends, this is Scott Shade. Happy whistling.